I love potatoes. I have to say that because there are a lot of potato people in this part of the world. But I do love potatoes. And so I've used potatoes in all different ways, but not quite this way. Or how about this way? How about this way? Okay, that's for Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. Okay, so all of you people, potato people, I love potatoes, and I'm really glad you appeared here tonight. So tonight, I'm going to explore magic, misdirection, and manipulation. Now, there's some evil in that, and there's some good in that. And so we'll ask you to think about that. As you look at the potato thing, what's your feeling? Was that a manipulation? Was it magic? Or was it all the other things combined? Or was it anything? What do you think?
A surprise.
Not sure?
A surprise.
Surprise? Okay. All right, well, let's carry on from there, because that's the part that we're going to be able to think about as we go through the process of all of this kind of thing. So I'd like you to stand up, put your things aside, move so you can see yourself a bit, see people through you. Okay? I'd like you to put your hands like this, and inside like that. The right hand over the left hand. So if you're left-handed, you're going to have to sort of put up with it, okay? See the fingers are there like that? Okay, so I want you to help each other. So look around at your neighbors while you're doing this, and just check around to make sure that you got it right, okay? You feel like you got it right? No. No? Okay. On the count of 3, watch me. 1, 2, 3. Please have a seat. Magic, manipulation, or is it misdirection? Any ideas? Misdirection? Why so?
When you said to look around at your neighbors.
Oh, did I do that intentionally?
Yeah.
Did anybody see what happened?
No.
Let's try one more time. Well, I'm going to show you again. I'll show you exactly what happened. This way, over the top, like that, okay? And then make a look. Look at somebody else now. Look at somebody else. Okay. I say go. Now see. Okay. So in the state of magic, we're not trying to make you look stupid or any of that stuff. It's to try and help out. And interestingly enough, magic really was created a long time ago between magic and religion, especially. And as early as all of the people in all the different countries of the world, probably at in the spiral of Babel went up, that's when they called it change. So magic is really interesting, and I love doing magic, but I don't want to do magic to fool you. There's some magicians in the room that probably do that kind of stuff. I want to do it with the things that I do in my work. So whether I'm teaching or whether I'm creating something, I want the magic to play with us. I want it to be something that builds on what we do. Okay, so if we're talking about this one here, we're saying, okay, what is wrong? Well, I misdirected you, did I? You remember? Can you tell where I misdirected you? Watch carefully. As I went like that, don't look at my finger. I pointed there, 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 and put my fingers back here. So that's the misdirection. Understand? That makes sense? Want to try that just for yourself when you're sitting down? So instead of going like this, take this hand away. Move your left hand around this way. Move around this way. Okay? Now, many of you are going to go back and you're going to try it, but you're going to forget it. Because magic, you have to keep redoing those kinds of things. Okay, so that's the magic of misdirection. This is a needle.
Oh.
A big honking needle. This is a balloon. Okay? Would you say that these two people don't go together?
Yeah.
for some of you in the room, it looks like something else in the neighborhood. It's a different color. Talking about Maureen, she'll tell you more about that. So if this is not, they don't well together, what if I tried it? Do you think there's a different way we might approach this? Let's give it a try. Okay, so they're right in there. Wow. Wow. So that generally is not something you would do, right? But if you pull it through. Now, when you're working or when you're doing something and you say, I can't do that. This doesn't work together. This is where it can work together, by looking at specific things about magic. So I can take it right off. Okay? It'll eventually seep out. But it's definitely a good balloon. A balloon that we need to have. So that's the part that I think is important to consider. If you're doing magic, what is it you're doing the magic for? Let me give you an example. Everybody in this room has misdirected lots of people. And most of you who have children, you misdirect them all the time. And oh, it's like, and some days I wish the misdirection would be really, really strong. Doctors, lawyers, people working in different areas are starting to consider that manipulation or the other stuff is really important in our lives. When a baby is born, when a baby is in your arms, when the baby's crying and driving you crazy, we misdirect. I was going to say, quiet baby, quiet baby. So the thing is that we misdirect a lot. We lie to people, we lie to ourselves sometimes, you know, with food and all those kinds of things. And I think that's an important part, is that we shouldn't think about magic as being evil that way. But there's an evil part of it. What do you think is the evil part of misdirection? We're talking about people this time. What would be a misdirection that would be evil, or on the verge of being evil? How about all of the things we see on television? I watch TV, I'm watching it for an hour or so. In the last hour, there's 40 different things going on. There's the cars, there's this, there's that, and I can watch something for 2 minutes. So the misdirection starts with when we start to try and change people's mind, when we actually misdirect them very specifically. And I think that's a really important thing to consider, is the way our society is going. And if we look, especially with television, you know, all of the commercials are driving us crazy. And there's more and more and more, and less of the good stuff that we had before. So that's a really important part. So I think that's a really critical area. Just getting a little thirsty here, so hang on a second.
A genie's going to pop out of that bottle. Maybe not.
I'll go here. 1 cup. 1 cup, 1 cup. So, when you're trying to help people, let's say that I'm working with you and I'm a teacher, and you're in a class, and I say, okay, tonight you have to do this kind of work and that kind of work. But you know, a week from now, you've got a long weekend, so you forget about it for a while. Okay? We'll come back to it later. If you wait a little longer, almost like I was talking to at the beginning, goes as well. So, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. So if you don't stick with it, you forget about it. And that's a really critical part. We do that a lot in education. When I was growing up in education, it was like 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4, and at the end of it, we knew nothing. Somebody said, the square and the hypotenuse is blah, 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 and I didn't know what that was all about. It was a triangle, some of you know that. And a year ago, I was working in a group with a person who's a carpenter, and he told me what this square of the hypotenuse was. First time in my life, first time in my 70-year-old life that I understood that this was when you build a roof and stuff like that, you have to have that in your place. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing, that when we teach people, we have to stay with it. I believe today that we should be teaching like a one-room schoolhouse. If you think about classes that you've been in, you cannot teach everybody the same thing at the same time. Not everybody reads at the same time. And I think that's a really critical part of that. So when we go back to manipulation. Well, manipulation happens all the time. We also have to think about all the other things we've been talking about. So some of the things we have to add together with them. My children have taught me a lot of things. And I just bought them a new book. Okay, they're really good with it. So, and it's interesting because there was a company that went door to door selling things, and they used this book as a promotional piece. They wanted you to believe in what was going on. So, when we start off, we probably don't know much about what's going on. With my kids, they like it when we had the pictures in there. But it wasn't till later that we started adding some color. So throwing some red, blue, green, so that we created that kind of thing. So if you think about the things that we've done here at the table, is adding some other pieces to it. I probably have 350 different activities that I can do that would help you learn something or fix something up. For example, some of you have done this before. You put your finger like that. You raise this finger, raise that finger, and this little finger doesn't rise if you try it on your own. But if I do this, and I wave those two, and I wave those two, I can do it. So all of the hand things are like that. Can you come up for a second? Quickly? I need to pick on this. You know. We're going to conclude this. Put your fingers like this. Darren, if you've seen Darren, he's got muscles upon muscles upon muscles. Okay? And so when I did this one time, my friend is a Chinese girl about this tall. Pull your hands up straight in front of me. And she was like that. And I said, this is a guy you cannot hurt and you cannot, make him go silly. So she went like that. Put him again. Don't let me do it this time. Do it again. Wait, did I come up? Come on here. Try it. So push your top finger there. 2 fingers. Yeah, and through there. And just smack them. Just go boom. Where'd he go? Thank you. Big, strong guy. Thank you. It's about the one-room schoolhouse. It's about the ideas that we have a lot of things we could do to help. You're going to hear from Maureen. You're going to be hearing from Joe. You're going to be hearing from Charlie. And they are going to show you some other paths to take instead of going through the regular school routine. I'm not against school, but I think we need to do more of that. Thank you.